Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Point of Change. If you're not watching this live, drop me a hashtag replay and still hang out with me. We're going to cover some good stuff. If you are watching this live, send me up some likes and loves and give me a share out in any addiction groups you might be a part of. You can share me out if you're watching the replay too. I don't know why I said it like that. I just did. This morning I got some presents from my mama, so I'm going to show those off a little bit, and then we're going to talk about how to deal with a rebel. Because as you know, most of us addicts, we are rebel rousers. We are hard to deal with. So I'm going to give you some tips. This isn't set in stone stuff. You know, this is just some guidelines for dealing with rebels like myself. There goes the refocusing camera. I thought I had that figured out this morning. I am really trying to get this thing to stop that refocusing crap through my whole videos. And I turned down my resolution on my camera. I thought maybe that would help. It seemed to have helped, but apparently it did not help. Morning, everybody. Got some people here. Send me up some likes and loves, guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel. If you're watching on Facebook, like and share this video and also like my page. If you are watching on YouTube, also come on over and check me out on Facebook. We got all kinds of other stuff on there, not just videos. We got written posts, we got memes, we got all kinds of nonsense. Good morning, guys. Let's see who's all here. Anna Brooks, good morning. Andrea Hodge, good to see you. Nicole Arquette, good to see you. Lisa Wagner, good morning. Andrea Litton watching on YouTube, good morning. Angel Tinkerbell, good to see you. Derek, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you here. Pam, good to see you. Donna Coleman, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. So let's check out these coloring books my mom sent me. As most of you know, I am in the midst of trying to quit smoking cigarettes, and it's been a hell of a journey. So far, this is day 4. I still haven't had a day without a cigarette completely. I still have been, smoking a half a cigarette or giving in to my stupid urges every once in a while. I need to fight that off. I gotta stop. Lisa says it's focusing a lot less. Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad it is, but I just seen it do it right when I read that comment. Dang it. We'll get through it. We can deal with that for now, right? I might end up having to buy a whole new camera. I hope not. I sure hope not. I am terrible when it comes to purchasing technology. Anyways, got these in the mail this morning from my mama. I already love it. Do you love it? I love it. Let's see. This is a motivating swear word coloring book for adults. This is something my mom got me to help me quit smoking. Wake up, kick ass, repeat. I love it. I'll show you a few of them, but we're not going to show too many of them because if you guys want to check this out, go and buy your own, damn it. You are amazing as fuck. Keep that shit up. Oh, I love it, mama. I love it. Oh, let's see. Darling, you are fucking fabulous. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, mama. You can do this shit. I like that one. Bloom wherever the fuck you are planted. I like that one too. Oh, my mama. She's a wonderful lady. Go with the fucking flow. I like that one too. That kind of looks like Sober Momster's logo a little bit. Reminds me of it anyways. You fucking rock. I like that one too. I like all of those. She got me another one too. This one is calm the fuck down. Oh, my mama. All right, let's see. Get to some color testing pages. Those are always good to have. Oh, that one's not good for an addict in recovery, is it? Something to do until the Valium kicks in. Way to go, Mom. Way to go. That's all right. I'm sure she's going to see that and be like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that for him. It's fine, Mom. It's fine. I still love it. Me? Sarcastic? Never. I love it. I love it. My mom is the best. Let's see. That one says home is where the vodka is. Another good one for recovering addicts. Oh, gross, Mom. That's it. I began as an orgasm. Thank you, Mother, for that mental image. Great. What a good way to start the day. Anyways, namaste. Now fuck off. I like that one too. That's a good one. Let's see. Suck It Up Buttercup with a crying penguin. I love penguins, so we're going to call that one good. I love that one. Thank you, Mama. This one just says no. 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 I like that one too. Just say no. Thank you, Mama, for the coloring books, and she sent me colored pencils with it too, so it's a complete set. Andrea says, I was thinking maybe some gum would help with smoking. I thought of that too. Unfortunately, my dentures aren't very good. They don't fit me very well anymore. It's been over a year since I got them, and I have to use denture glue to keep them in because I need to get them relined, which is another thing that I keep saying I'm gonna do and I don't do. But I have to get my dentures relined, and they don't really fit well, so I have to use denture glue to keep them in. And when I'm chewing gum, out they pop. So that's not gonna work. Andrea says, you don't chew crack and put in your cheek. I'm not going to chew on crack to help myself stop smoking. That just seems like it would defeat the purpose. No, I see what you're saying. The gum, you just crack it and then you put it in your cheek. I get that, but I don't know. It better not taste like shit or I'm just going to want a cigarette. You know what I mean? Amanda says, I'm using nicotine and chewing nicotine patches, I'm going to guess you meant to say. I'm using nicotine, please, and chewing gum and candy. I'm going to try some sugar-free candy today. Small candies like butterscotch. Hey, good idea there, Angel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Andrea, she thought it was funny that I asked if you could chew gum with dentures. Anna says, mine do the same. I can't chew it. Yeah, it just sticks and pulls right off. So can't do that one. Anyways, guys, let's get on to topic here. I want to talk a little bit about how to deal with a rebel, because when you're dealing with a rebel, as most of us addicts are rebels, there are some little things you should avoid doing. And it all comes down to wording. I'm a firm believer that you can say whatever you want to say to anybody, but you have to say it in a certain way. This day and age, wording is so important. Holy crap, do people blow up on you for one little miswording? But I'm not talking about that social media crap. I'm talking about real world dealing with an addict, trying to get them into recovery. Some things that you should avoid doing. For one, the biggest thing you should avoid doing is a direct command, like stop smoking meth, or when they're in early recovery and they're having a rough day and you say, you give them some tips, and then at the end of the message you say, but don't go get high. Don't do that. Don't do things to a rebel, because you know what we're going to do? Exactly what you told us not to do. And even if we don't go do it, you just put a horrible urge. I mean, even saying that and feeling like I'm reading that right now triggers me a little bit when I have people that message me that stuff, especially now when I'm quitting smoking. I've had people message me, don't go have a cigarette. And guess what that puts into my head? Fuck you, I'm gonna go have a cigarette. So try not to do direct commands like that, and it'll get you a lot farther if you can do it in more of a relating manner or an advice giving manner, as in, when I was in your shoes, this is what I did, or hey, if I was you, this is what I would do. Those kind of things work wonders, because we'll actually consider what you're saying, because it's coming from a point of understanding. It's coming from a point of experience. So we're more likely to say, all right, yeah, that might work. I could maybe try that. But if you just say, don't do this, or definitely do this, and give us direct commands like that, it instantly causes something in our brains. Like we can feel it. We can feel this, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do kind of thing. So when you're dealing with a rebel, make sure you do not, if you do it, I'm not saying you're a horrible person for having done it. I know some people, that's just how we were raised, to be direct and don't beat around the bush and stuff. And this goes hand in hand with dealing out tough love. A lot of people think tough love, they have to just be tough. They forget the love aspect of it. It's much like if you're a high school, football coach or something like that. Get into that mindset when you're dealing with recovering addicts. Get into a coaching mentality where it's, you can be stern, you can be firm with them, you can let them know, hey, you're fucking up, dude. And especially that, if you can say stuff like that, that really helps a lot. Swear at them. Us rebels, we like to be swore at a little bit. And when somebody on the receiving end of this, if you're a rebel and you're receiving on the end of this, people are telling you what to do or giving you tips and stuff like that, it's important to keep yourself in check too, to know where they're coming from with their advice, where they're coming from with this, and make sure you're taking it into heart no matter how they say it. It's not so important how they say it as important as what they're saying. You know, some people were raised differently. We all talk differently. So if somebody comes at you in a way that you don't like what they're saying, or you don't like how they're saying it, you know, make sure you're still looking at what they're saying, not just how they said it. Yeah, they said, you know, hey, you fucking idiot, look what you did, blah, 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 blah. But what they meant was, come on, let's get this in gear. You know, let's get things going better. Offer help, offer its assistance in any way you can. I've dealt with so many addicts and so many recovering addicts and so many rebels since I started this page. I deal with you guys on a daily basis. And I love it. Every day I love it. But I'm telling you the best way, let's see. Sorry, I thought I seen a comment that came in that I could address. But I deal with addicts in a loving manner, but also a tough loving manner. You know, you have to point out things that are hard for them to swallow. A lot of times it's really hard for us as addicts to swallow the truth of everything we're going through, of facing what we've done to our children and what we have done to our families and what we've done to ourselves. It's really hard to face all that. There's a lot of shame and a lot of guilt that goes along with recovery and goes along with addiction. I think we all know that. When you stop doing the drugs, you're faced with all the regrets. You're faced with all of the pain that you caused, and there's no way to dull it out anymore. So it's important that we tiptoe through the tulips with them a little bit. I understand that sometimes you don't want to do that. You don't want to sugarcoat shit. You want to tell them, you know, hey, you fucking stole from me and you broke your children's heart, and your children are now in foster care all because of you and your fucking actions. You want to beat them over the head with a club. I get the feeling. Trust me, I get it. But we can't do that. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to go around beating people in the head with clubs. So we have to take a more palatable approach, you know? And like I said before, I'm a firm believer that you can say whatever you want to say to somebody as long as you say it in the right way. There's that refocusing camera again. I guess I did not troubleshoot that enough. It's hard to let some of those skeletons out of the closet. Yes, I agree. Let's see, working with a family member now, says Andrea. I always share your videos to her. Awesome. Glad you are. Anna Brooks says, you're amazing, Maddie. Keep doing you. I shall. Let's see. I'm a rebel, says Ida. Good. It's good to be a rebel, but it's important that you're coming into recovery, that we're doing a lot of changing. You know, this isn't all just on the people giving us advice that they need to make sure they're watching their P's and Q's. This is on us too. You know, make sure you're accepting the advice in a proper way. I understand being a rebel, but there's a time for being a rebel, and there's a time for listening, and there's a time for taking advice and things like that. And coming into recovery, a big part of recovery is accepting help from other people, not just with our recovery, but with our general lives, and accepting rides from people, accepting help and advice where it is offered. And being a rebel, we don't like to do that so much. We kind of want to blaze our own path through this world. But I'm telling you, if you keep trying to blaze your own path, you're going to find out that it doesn't work. And in fact, there's a reason so many people have made it into recovery, and that's because we follow the footsteps of the people who have gone before us. And that is people like me, people like Drew, people like other people out there who are lighting a path behind themselves, you know, and that's so important for you guys that can spread a good message, that can speak, that can do things like this. That's why it's so important for us to get out and share our stories and spread a good message, is because there are so many people out there that don't know where to start. There's so many people out there that don't know the next step. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn. They don't know how to do this because they've never tried before. So it's important for us to put it out there on Front Street, you know, not to be anonymous, to be sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope with other people. Sometimes I wish that I didn't have to do this, you know. I'm not, honestly, in my personal opinion, not the best speaker in the world. I don't think so. I stutter through my words sometimes. I stumble. I don't get my message across exactly like I like it to. This is a tough road to walk. It really is. But when you get the calling, you get the calling, you know. Janet Callahan says, teachable. Yes, remain teachable. Always remain teachable. And to remain teachable is to remain humble. Samir, Sam, how you doing, man? Says I'm uncomfortable all the time. Apparently that's me growing. yeah, apparently that's growth, right? Yeah, you know, but it's important to remember, I'll say on that one, Sam, it's important to remember when you're uncomfortable that you're not in pain, you're not dying, you're just uncomfortable. Remember that. That's a good tip that I got from a friend of mine, is just to remember that you're not dying, you're not in pain, you're just uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable sucks, but you can get through it. Let's see. Ida, accepting yourself first was one of my first steps. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Yeah, the golden rule. There you go. That's a good way to live. That's a good way to live your life, is to treat others as the way you want to be treated. Unfortunately, when we're talking about recovery, it works, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because you want to be treated a specific way, a certain way. You want to be shown respect. You want to be shown this and that and the other thing. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with an addict trying to get them into recovery, sometimes you have to be a little less than respectful. Sometimes you have to be a little more forceful than you would want other people to be with you. So got to make sure you're doing the right things. And the boundaries change when a person comes into recovery, and when a person goes from an active addict lifestyle and comes into recovery, the boundaries change between you and your addict. Now, before you had to make sure you were not enabling in any sort of way, and now you can't enable, but enabling takes on a whole new face when your addict is in recovery. You know what I mean? Making sure that you're not using triggering languages, making sure there are nothing around your house that can be triggering, making sure that you still have to keep your medicines locked up. You still have to keep your money in a safe place. Like all of these little tiny things that we have to adapt into our lives to make sure we're not enabling others and make sure that we're setting a good example for them. Drew Hicks, my brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you here. Janet, stay strong and remember your support team. Have a great day. Always find the positive in each day. This helps me through all the bad days. Right on, Janet. I like that. Find a positive in every, not only in each day, but in every situation. If you look hard enough, you can always find a positive side to it. Nick, yo, what to do, brother? How you doing, Nick? Good to see you here, man. Let's see. Don't be so hard on you, says Tracy. Oh, talking about me not being a good speaker? Just saying. There's other people out there who are better at this than I am, and who are smarter than I am, and they could probably do this a lot better, but I got the calling, so I'm the one here. So this is what you get. Sam says, my mom used to give me money for dope. I feel bad now. Does she feel bad now, or do you feel bad now? Either way, you feel bad. I used to force my father to enable me all the time, so I definitely know what you're feeling there, man. My dad had an unending love for me, and I knew it, and I exploited it. If he wasn't gonna enable me, give me money, let me use your truck, things like that, I would stop talking to him, or I would freak out on him, and my dad hated that. Not hated it like it made him mad. It made him very sad when I wouldn't talk to him, or when I would get angry and scream at him. He would get extremely sad. So I used that against him. I also used his poor memory. My dad was starting to slip in his older age. He never got old. My dad died at a fairly young age of 65, but his memory started to slip towards the end, and I would use that against him when I would steal from him, and then he would figure out that I stole from him. I would tell him, "Oh, you gave me that. Don't you remember? Your memory sucks so bad, Dad. You don't even remember doing that, or you can't remember where you put that thing. Oh, come on, I'll help you look for it." Terrible things, but it's that made me a lot sadder than I thought it would, telling that story. It's sad. It really is. Let's see. Tina says, I can't respond to Samir. I need a way to suggest to do so. I need a way or suggest to do so. Samir says, how old are you? I'm 33. I'm sorry, Tina. I'm having trouble with this comment here. I can't respond to Samir. I need a way or suggest to do so. I don't know what you meant there, dear. I'm sorry. You could just type it in the comments. You don't have to reply directly to it. We'll see it. Let's see, Mary Huffman. I can respectfully tell someone that they need help or are messing up. I also adjust. Let me make this bigger. I can peek over the top here. I can respectfully tell someone that they need help or are messing up. I also adjust with flow of conversation. I can go drill sergeant on someone. My husband's cousin said, if I do all the door, I am all the things that I am supposed to. Why I got my teeth, me to him, because you started shooting. I got lost halfway through this. Maybe my brain's not just not processing this comment properly. I'm just gonna hide behind it. Screw it. See, can you guys read that? Because I'm not gonna try to read it again because apparently I get lost when I try to read things. I'll just stay back here for a while. All right, I'm back. I just says touch the comment and reply will come up. Yep, sure will. Tried clicking on the reply comment and it won't let you add a. Sam says you're still young. A good age to stop. Well done. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I'm glad that I did stop when I could. 13 years was enough. That's for sure. It says no comment is allowed, huh, Tina? Well, you can just not reply to him and just type your reply right there where you keep typing all this stuff. Just type whatever you were going to say to him, type it there. Cat Payne, I finally sat my mom down and apologized genuinely for everything. I have so much guilt. It's going to get better, though. Things already are getting stronger every day. Right on, Cat. That's awesome. Hey, I've had to sit down with my mom a few times since I came into recovery. It wasn't just one sit down. I wish I could just have had one, but unfortunately the damage that I've done to my brain, it is so hard for me to remember the things I've done and all the things that I did that were horrible, to not only to my parents, but to myself, to the rest of my family, to the rest of the world. It has been a long, gradual process of remembering shit that I did wrong and apologizing for it. You might have to revisit that topic with her a few times, and it might be uncomfortable, but it's important that we go through it. It's important to listen, and it's important to talk. I had a couple weeks ago, I had a conversation with my older brother and his wife, and we were sitting there, and she started talking about stuff that was super triggering for me, and it got me very emotional. And I started to do the old shut off thing. I started to do the old and started to look around, tried to disconnect myself from the situation. She was bringing up names I didn't want to hear. She was bringing up stories I don't want to remember. And it got very, very uncomfortable for myself. And I even said at one point, I said, I would rather talk about anything else than this right now. And my brother stepped in and said, no, we're not going to change the subject. We're going to talk about this because it might hurt you to hear about it, but it hurts us to not talk about this. We need our time to express to you how those moments made us feel and how it made us feel seeing you like that and having to come over and getting in an argument, because we got in a big argument. Me, my brother, and his wife. I was completely gone on meth, and they came over to step in because we were having just me and my ex were having just a terrible fight at my dad's house, and my brother and his wife came over to stop it, and it turned into a big spat. And I didn't realize how much that day, that fight, had caused resentments and pain inside of them. To me, I just never wanted to talk about it again. I've talked about it. I've brought up my past to other people, but I never really went over and had that conversation with them. So when she started to bring it out and started to talk about it, I instantly got so uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to hear those names. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I don't want to feel this way, just tried to shut it down, but they wouldn't allow me to do that. My brother wouldn't allow me to do that. He told me, hey, you might have come to terms with all this, but we still haven't. We need to talk about this. We need to get it out of our chest. So I realized that I was being a dick, and I said, okay, you're right. I do need to hear this. You're right. I need to hear how this has affected you guys and what it did. And it was good for me. I mean, yes, it made me super uncomfortable. And I'm going to be honest, when I left there, I broke down into tears because it was hard for me to hear how bad that night really affected them and how much sadness it created in them and a resentment towards me. But It's those kind of conversations, those uncomfortable conversations are the ones that we need to have. Even when I was an active addict, the conversation talking about it was so uncomfortable for my family that we just swept it under the rug so many times, especially my dad. Like if you'd bring up the fact that I was using, my dad would shut you down right now. He didn't want to talk about it. He would change the subject. And unfortunately, what that did for my whole family is it created a big void in our family, because my brothers, I have 4 older brothers, none of them could talk to my dad about me. They could talk to him about the weather. They could talk to him about their jobs. They could talk to him about their life. You know, I talked to him about that. But the elephant in the living room, the fact that I was living at my dad's house and I was using meth and I was stealing from him and I was lying to him and I was taking his money and I was taking his vehicles. If they wanted to address the elephant in the freaking room, wasn't allowed. They weren't allowed to talk about that. Nobody talked bad about Matthew around my dad. So therefore, it created a huge void between my brothers and my father, because there was something on their minds that they really wanted to talk to him about. But if they brought it up, he would shut the conversation down. So it created a void, you know, and that's just one more thing that was caused from the wake of destruction that I created behind myself. Mary, I had to apologize for enabling. I thought I was helping and I was just hurting. Don't feel too bad about enabling. I mean, yeah, it's a horrible thing, but so many people are guilty of enabling. And if you find yourself enabling a child, I'll tell you right now, you're a normal parent, or if you're not even a parent, if you're enabling an addict in any way, you're normal. That's unfortunately, most people don't even know what enabling is. They don't recognize it when they're doing it. But if you can stop the enabling, if you can cut that out, you can cut the enabling out of it, you speed up the recovery process. You really do, because the only way to get somebody into recovery is to get them to hit their rock bottom. You know what I mean? They have to get to where they have nowhere else to turn other than a rehab or a detox or something. They have to hit that point where they don't have, the point of change, where they have to hit that point where they realize that they need to make a change. Like nothing's going to get better. So by stopping enabling, you can speed that process up, because enabling makes them comfortable in their addiction. They still have a way to go, a way to get money. They still have a way to get a vehicle. They still have a place to sleep. They can still live comfortably and use drugs. So if you can take out the ability to live comfortably and use drugs, you speed up the process of addiction and you speed up the process of them getting into recovery. Mary Huffman, I think that is a man thing. They either don't speak about it at all or they beat it to death. Seems to be a fine line. Hey, that's a good one. That is a good one. It does seem to be a man thing. I mean, I don't think it's all a man thing. I think there's plenty of women out there that like to bury it all down too, or talk about it too much, But you're very right. A lot of times this day and age, we feel like society makes us feel like we're not allowed to share. We're not allowed to share our pain and our experience. We're not allowed to talk about stuff that made us sad. We're not allowed to cry. We're not allowed to do things like that, because you have to remain this manly image, this masculinity, whatever. I don't even remember what I was trying to say there. But we feel like society keeps us held to this higher standard that we cannot cry. We can't let things out like that. We can't talk about it because we're a man, so rub some dirt on it and keep going. But it's bullshit. That's bullshit. Just let it out. Just talk about it. It's so important for us to get stuff like that off of our chest. Janet says, accountable of our actions, weathering through that storm is so hard, but also rewarding after we get past that point. It's growth and healing. Yes. And healing is so uncomfortable. Andrea says, who says grown men can't cry? Society does. You can pretend, you can sit here and you can say, well, I don't tell them that. I get that you don't tell them that, but society definitely says that grown men don't cry. You can think that, no, we don't think that. People don't think that. Yeah, right. Okay. Society thinks that way. Society says men are supposed to be manly men and we're not supposed to cry. That's what society says. I know that on an individual case-by-case basis, people don't say that. People don't say that men are not allowed to cry. But on the whole, society says men are not allowed to cry, okay? Let's see. I have shared your videos to parents to hear it from someone that has been there. I no longer enable except recovering. I enable them to get help and try to guide family. Yeah, the head of our household is what I meant, is what I was meaning with dudes. You are right. John Wayne it. Yes, we are tough. We are strong. We are men. You rub some dirt on it and you keep going. That's what a man does there, Pilgrim. That's what we do, you know? Andrea says, I know, but I think it's BS. It is BS. It is total BS, but that is what has been put on us by society. Grown men don't cry, and it's awkward when they do, you know? I mean, that's just how it is, unfortunately. There's a lot of things in this world that people don't say that, but society does, because the person, a single person is very smart. We are very intelligent. We have our own talents. We have our own abilities. We are wonderful. We are caring. We are kind. People suck. People as a group, as a thing, I hate people. We're dumb, we're panicky, we're stupid. People as a creature, as a whole, are ridiculous. The person, individual case by case basis, love them. They're wonderful, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're caring, they're giving, they're kind. But on a whole, people suck. You get them in groups, you get people, you take them out of that individual case by case basis and you put them in groups, sometimes even as small as just two, and all of a sudden they change from being a person to being people, and now they suck and they just run around being shitty and sucking together. All right, rant over. Andrea, people do suck. I keep my circle small. Me too. Oh, circle so small. Oh, such a small circle. I barely make the cut, dude. Like it's my family, Ryan, and I do have a couple close friends that still live up north, but like I don't even know if I could. They're in my circle because I call them like Tony and Valerie, but I have like 5 friends and I have one friend who I hang out with like on a physical basis, like that I actually spend time with. One. Uno. And other than him is my brother, my best friend. Hi, Cassandra Richmond. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Let's see, Angie, I love this. I'm going to share with a woman who's struggling with what enabling an addict really is. Yeah, enabling an addict is giving them a comfortable place to live, giving them a comfortable place to do their drugs. And if you feel like the biggest one that I get is how, unfortunately, there is a lot more of a legal process to kicking your child. So many recovering addicts and so many of us speakers, we say, if they're still using, you have to kick them out. You got to kick them out. Unfortunately, what we continuously regret, or what we don't address, is the fact that you can't just say, get out. Like, there's a legal process to kicking your children. Even if they're over 18, they have a legal freaking right to be in your house if they're listed as a resident. So there's actually a legal eviction process that you have to do to kick your child out. You can't just say, get out. I mean, you can. And if they don't, honestly, let's talk about that. If you tell your kid to quit doing drugs or get out of your house and they don't get out of your house, what an asshole. What an asshole. If they don't if they make you take it to the point where you have to get a lawyer and take them to court to kick them out of your house, like, what an asshole. Really. That's the addiction talking. That's not your kid. That's the addiction taking over their brain, not your kid, if they do that to you. But there is actually a legal process to kicking your children out of the house if they don't leave at 18. But it's still important to know that you cannot condone that behavior. Don't condone behavior in your children that you wouldn't condone in other people, but you condone it in them because they're your child, or because they're your brother or your sister or your parents in some cases. Do not condone that behavior. You can love that person without condoning their behavior. You know what I'm saying? I am blurry. I have now gone blurry and it hasn't come back. There. Let's see. Andrea says it can take up to 90 days. Yeah. Sometimes it can take up to 6 months. Eviction is not a quick process. Let me see. Melina says, I asked you a question in the feed. Would it be okay if you scrolled back and read it and give me some advice on it? You bet it would be okay, Melina. Give me a second, guys. We are scrolling. Keep those puppies scrolling. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Can't we just tell our loved ones that we are sorry for absolutely everything that we did to hurt them in one sitting? Why do you have to tell them sorry for every individual thing? Because that is a really garbage apology. That really is. Just saying, hey, sorry for everything, that really makes nobody feel better. It doesn't make you feel better, and it doesn't make them feel better, because later you're still gonna think about all the things that you did that you didn't apologize for, that you just said, hey, sorry for everything. Like, and they're still going to feel that way. They're going to be like, oh, okay. It's just like if you took a cookie out of the cookie jar. When you were a little kid, you went up and you snuck and you stole a cookie, and you go back and your mom catches you, and then she punishes you, and later you have to apologize. And you walk up and you say, Mom, I'm sorry. And she's going to say, sorry for what? And you have to say, I'm sorry that I stole the cookie. That is a proper apology. A proper apology is addressing what you actually did wrong, apologizing, and then offering a way to make up for it. That is a proper amends. If you don't do it that way, I'm not saying that that's horrible, but I'm saying that it doesn't really help anybody. It doesn't really make anybody feel better in that situation. I know it's uncomfortable to address it. I know it makes you feel like shit, and a lot of times it makes them relive what you did wrong, and it's hard. It's a very uncomfortable situation to find yourself in, to actually have to say, I'm really sorry for that time I stole your grandmother's necklace, or I'm really sorry about that time I took money out of your purse. Or even the ones that are really uncomfortable are the ones that are hurting you, but they don't know about it. Those are hardcore apologies to make, like admitting that you did it, not just apologizing for the shit that they know about. I'm talking about admitting that you did something that they didn't even know you did, and then apologizing for it. Now that is some uncomfortable shit. But just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean we can't do it, or doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be so much happier when you're done with it. You're probably going to cry. You're probably going to hate yourself while you explain why you did what you did, or what happened there that caused you to do what you did, or tell them, when you're opening up and admitting to them what you did wrong, you're going to feel like shit. But you know what? By the end of it, you're going to be stronger. You're going to be better. The relationship is going to be closer, and they're going to trust you a lot more. You have to earn that trust back, But doesn't it make you feel better later, says Andrea? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. She says, you just answered my question. I'm good at that. I'm good at answering questions before they get asked. I'm really good at that. Let's see. In the state of Tennessee, if you have stayed somewhere for 30 days, it is your legal residence, says Andrea. Yep. That's actually, a lot of places have that law, and it becomes a pain in the ass to kick them out. Let's see. I've seen some other stuff. Let's see. Lisa, I wrote letters to people many years ago with making amends and burned them. It was people that I could not talk with at all because it would not go well. Right on, Lisa. That is an important thing right there, is when making an amends, it's important to understand if the amends is going to hurt people. And that is not to say that don't go, that's not to go hand in hand with what I just said. What I just said about, you have to address the problem. I'm not trying to say if it's too uncomfortable, don't do it. Not trying to say that. If it's too uncomfortable, too fucking bad, suck it up, buttercup. But if it's a situation where apologizing to them opens up the door for you to relapse, like for instance, apologizing to someone who is still using. If you have wronged somebody that you used to use with, and you wronged them back in the day, and you feel bad about it, that's a good way to go. Write a letter and burn it, and apologize to them and apologize to God, and apologize to yourself for it. But if apologizing to a person opens up the door for you to start using again, or brings back an old dealer into your life or something like that, no go, man. Don't apologize. Just let it go. Let it go. Back down to the bottom. Mary Huffman, goodness and I have custody of my grandkids. It is a whole other ball of wax. Grandparents, wow, these big comments. I like this. I can just hide behind these things. A whole other ball of wax. Grandparents usually have no rights. Years ago, I caught shit because everyone thought I was mean to take the kids. They were being neglected. I stepped in and gave them a chance to work on themselves with my full support. Have had the 16-year-old and her sister with Downs that is 14 for 13 years. Their cousin who is 12 for 8 years. Right on, Mary. That's something. Addicts are going to freak out. Their fight or flight instinct in an addict is really screwed up. In instances when we should run away, we fight. In instances when we should fight, we run away. It's weird, but it's something that addiction does in your brain. It gets your wires all crossed. And in instances like that, when you should be running away from the drugs and you should be fighting for your life, instead we run away from our lives and fight for the drugs. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense to you. It's and when you're talking about that, you know, that's the other thing, is offering them help. A lot of times they will fight you because they are fighting for their drugs. So when you're offering them assistance in taking, especially that, because if you're trying to assist them by giving them the opportunity to better themselves, by taking custody of their children, or by helping them, they don't see it as you're trying to help them. You're trying to keep their kids out of the system. You're trying to keep them in a family home. They don't see any of that. What they see is you being judgmental and saying that your life is better than their life, you know, and you're saying they take everything the wrong way. I shouldn't say they, I should say we, because I am one of them. But it's hard to explain how that happens in their brain. But even so much as mentioning that they have a drug problem becomes oh, you think you're better than me kind of thing. Oh, your life is so perfect that you don't have to do drugs, so you think you're better than me, you know? And that's not at all what we're trying to do. We're just trying to say, hey, you look like you're struggling, you're having some problems, I would love to help you with that. But instead they think it is, you're telling them they're weak and they can't do this on their own, and it sucks. It really sucks. Hey, Michael McNeil, how you doing, brother? God bless everyone here today. Stay happy, stay healthy, and alive. Keep fighting the fight. We are all warriors of recovery. Right on, Michael McNeil, my brother from another mother. Love you, man. Glad to see you here. All right. Well, I think we covered some good topics here. I am going to let you guys go. It's been about 40 minutes. That's an awesome video right there. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your contributions to the video, and thank you for your comments, your likes, your loves, keeping up with me all the time. Thanks for being here this morning, and make sure you guys are here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central for Toothless Tuesday. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Stay happy, stay healthy,